With multiple sclerosis, they haven't figured it out what causes it, but it's an autoimmune disease, auto meaning self. So what happens is your self attacks your immune system. They don't know why. I might have tingliness in my left hand one minute. My vision might be affected another, although that's been good lately, thank God. You know, and then my legs are hurting, which is, at this point in time, my biggest thing is pain and burning. I am on a lot of meds. Currently, I take not only the shot, the interferon, which is every other day, and I've been doing that for 11 years. I take Imuran in the morning. I take Baclofen and Neurontin both 4 times a day each. And I take Wellbutrin, which is an antidepressant. I take that twice a day. And Detrol and Ditropan, which are urinary medications. Because I do address every symptom with my neurologist. We treat every symptom with pharmaceutical, and yet you don't get total relief. You know, they do work. I'm not disputing that they work. But does it work fully? No. My son learned a lot about medicinal marijuana. And so he gathered some information, and he came to me and said, "Gee, Ma, you know, have you ever thought of this?" I was willing to try it, give it a chance, but I didn't want to break the law. I didn't want to have to feel like a criminal, like, oh, I'm sneaking, and God forbid I get caught. Now it's legal in Rhode Island.
Rhonda O'Donnell, who suffers from multiple sclerosis, became one of the first people to turn in her application to register for Rhode Island's medical marijuana program, a program that was established after the General Assembly made it legal for certified patients to use the popular drug for medicinal purposes.
This is where people get the lines crossed sometimes. It's not legalizing marijuana for everybody at all, just for medical purposes with the doctor's recommendation.
If I were to get busted buying or smoking marijuana, there's a possibility that I could lose my children.
But it's worth that risk?
I wouldn't be half the mother I am without it, because I would just be in way too much pain. So yeah, being a good mother to my children is the most important thing in the world to me. I live in a state that has no medical marijuana protection. I was I'm born with cerebral palsy, which most noticeably manifests itself in a severe stutter, and the right side of my body is much noticeably weaker than my left. I have the stutter has got to be one of the most stigmatizing disabilities invented by God. A Photoshop printer, it won't turn on. I was made fun of through elementary school, through middle school, through high school. I got my nose fractured because I went to slap a guy who made fun of me. I tried calling you before and I get hung up on. Hello? It's very humiliating. My right arm is always very painfully tense. I went through my entire childhood in pain because I couldn't move my muscles. I am a widowed young mother with 4 children. Tristan is 9, Jade is 6, Ulysses is 4, and Fiona's 2. They're amazing, and I want them to know how amazing they are and to know that I love them. My kids are spending the night with their grandmother.
How much did he just give you?
Not even I have enough for maybe 2 bowls.
My oldest son, Danny, was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia in 1967. The year I started to look into marijuana. He had to get cancer chemotherapeutic drugs, which he just hated it because he'd vomit, he was nauseous, he'd come home here and he'd lie for 8 hours in a bed with a bucket. My wife said to me, shouldn't we get Danny some marijuana? And I said, no, we can't do that. It's against the law. My wife protested that I objected to that. And the next time he had therapy, I went into the treatment room and they were laughing. They were having jokes. And she told me that Danny had smoked marijuana outside in the parking lot. It was just amazing to us. He not only didn't get nausea, he got off the table and he said, looked up at his mother and said, hey, can we stop for a sub sandwich on the way home? And from that time on until his death, he never had to deal with the nausea and vomiting. And I thought, my goodness, we've got to find a way to let people like my son and like these other people who have found this useful as a medicine, something which diminishes their suffering. We've got to find a way to make it available.
After about the 3rd hit is when I began to feel the tension dissipate. It really helps my speech. I feel much calmer, much less rushed, and I feel like I can control the muscles that I couldn't control before I smoked. It's kind of nice. I don't make as many funny faces